What started as a question, as a YouTube post, should I buy this or that, turned into buying that. That thing is CONY, CONY. I started with a 5-year plan. I said I'm just going to buy 100 shares. I'm going to let it drip every single month for the next 5 years. I did it for maybe almost a year dripping. But I noticed that the trend of the ETF CONY was dripping downwards. The price kept dipping and dripping and slipping. And so I pumped the brakes. I didn't buy any more CONY. And I said, I'm just going to get paid out. I'm just going to get my distribution every 4 weeks. At the time, it was every month. And I mean, most of you think that's the same thing. I'm with you. And I just said I was going to get the distributions. Eventually, it's going to recover what I invested into the fund. I think it was around $4,000. I'll tell you, I'll show you actually how much I invested in it in just a bit here. But it just kept going down in price. And then over the last week now, the rumor is out there that on November the 28th, so 11 days from today, they're going to do a reverse split. A 1-for-10 reverse split. So today, I've made the decision. I thought about it for the last 4, 5, even 6 days, maybe 7. I thought about what am I going to do with the reverse split funds. And I've never really been a fan of CONY. CONY is the ETF symbol. Only for the fact that it has only gone down in price, it seems. And we can go look at the chart to see if I'm right about that. And consistently, the distributions have got weaker, lower. And it just wasn't something that was on the top of my list. Coinbase itself in that same period had rocky times, but predominantly gone up. But CONY predominantly gone down in that time. So I want to go over that in this video. I'll talk about my decision, what I'm going to do with my decision in the video. And if you are new here, my name is Mike. I talk about high yield distributions. I talk about retiring as fast as I possibly can. I talk to you about, our goals out there. And I find that the people that watch these videos, we're kind of like-minded. We have the same goal of retiring as quick as possible. We're trying to find ways to make that happen. I bought into CONY thinking that was going to be one of the ways to make it happen, but so far not so good with it, that's for sure. And by the way, this is not advice. This is not financial advice at all. Just kind of talking about my experience over here. And I think it's important to understand that the point of CONY is to pay you a distribution every single 4 weeks. Now it's every single week. That's the point, to get a distribution every single week, to get income from your money being in something. But when the share price drops as much as it has, the income doesn't really matter anymore. You know what I mean? Like if I've been in there for a year and a half and I'm still getting income, but my dollar amount of my account is dropping faster than the income comes in, it doesn't really make sense to stay in that fund anymore. So let me share my screen with you, and let's go over what I'm looking at here. I found this on the old Twitter machine today, and you can see November 28th, we got a bunch of reverse splits happening. We have a bunch of 1-for-10, so Alti is one of them. MRNY, Ybit, Tesla is going. Ybit and Tesla and XYZY are going to be 1-for-5s. AIYY, CONY right here, 1-for-10s. Crash, 1-for-10. Dip, Fiat, all 1-for-10. So all but 2 of those in the last section are reverse funds looking for the negatives in the market. And then you have ABMY and OARC 1-for-5 split. So I'm talking about CONY today, 1-for-10, which means if I had 1,000 shares, I would now have 100 shares, but I had 295 shares, so that would bring me to 29 shares whenever this happens. CONY stock here, CONY ETFs over the last 5 days now. not really the fault of YieldMax too much here, right? The entire market's having a rough moment in life. They're like a toddler having a temper tantrum right now. Or is that somebody else? And the market's going down because of it. Here's the last month, down 24%. Last 6 months, down 44%. Last year, down 71% in share price. And, since it's come out, down 73% in share price. I bought in probably, I don't even know. I didn't record it. Did I record it? Let's go look. No, I didn't record it. I think I deleted when I did record it. But I bought in probably about a year ago. So you're looking at what's the date today? November 2024? Oh man, here we go. We're getting closer, everybody. November, right? So I bought in about here, November, let's call it a year ago, since I got in down 70% share price. So not good. Not good at all. Now, what is it doing? It's paying out a distribution every single week now, but it is going to reverse split, right? So just to be clear, so let's just play pretend that the reverse split happened right now. Your share price would be $48.30. You would go from 1,000 shares to 100 shares. The dollar amount would be the exact same in your account, right? You are essentially just taking tiny little slivers of a pie for Thanksgiving. You're making it a full pie with bigger slivers of pie. Okay, so no change to your dollar amount. But what happens in the next few years? Is it going to keep doing what it's doing right now? Let's look at Coinbase at the same time. Let's go let's just do a 1 year chart. So Coinbase in the last year down 20% share price. CONY down 71%. What are you getting though? You're getting income, but it doesn't add up to the same thing. So it's not working out for them. And I mean, if you're going to do a reverse split, is there any lessons that are learned from that? Is there anything to fix the share price from going down? And I mean, we're going to say it over and over and over again over at the YieldMax team that it's an income fund. It's built to produce income, right? But in 3 years, are you going to have to do this again? And then again, and again, and again. And every time, just so you know, if this gets up to $48 as an example, just an example, right? With today's, this exact number, even though it won't be this, but your distributions are also going to go up. So instead of it paying 20 cents, it's going to pay, multiply that times 10, right? So, $2. But as the share price comes down 70% in the last year, as an example, your distributions are going to come down the same rate, okay? So that's the change. So let's take a look at my account here. I was, I threw it out as a poll, and I said I'm looking for my next fund, and at the time, CONY was cooking. Just so we're on the same page, CONY has made so much money in distribution that it has paid out its original investors in full in distribution. So they're pretty happy, and I'm kind of on that team of not so happy because, it really depends when you buy these funds. I bought it at not the best time, obviously. So I can't really fault too much there. It's more, just poor timing in the purchase of it. But it is nice to know that some people have been paid out in full. For me, I'm not. And I'm looking to make a change because I do want to get into options. And I was looking for one of the funds in my account that I didn't really like. And CONY was that. CONY was the one I don't really like in my account. So you can see I put a total of $4,054 into this fund. I actually only put about $1,900 of Mike dollars in here. And then the rest was dripped in over the last year here. And so that built up to 295 shares. My average cost was $13.74. Current market value was $1,534 as of this morning. My total distributions received were $1,770. So I made a big sale this morning. I sold all of the shares, $1,534 worth. If you add that, let me just bring my mouse up here, this 1534 plus the 1770, it equals the realized loss of $750. Not the end of the world, right? Not the end of the world. And I thought, you know what? I can live with that. I can live with that. So now my job is to take this 1534 into my cash account and go ahead and start options. My goal, my mission, make that $750 back up over the next period of, I don't know, whenever, right? A year, 2 years. I don't know how long it's going to take, but that's my first mission over there. Make that $750 back in options. And I'm not going to be playing super risky. I want a lower delta. 20% delta would be fine. But right now is maybe not the best time to do it just because the market is only going in one direction, and that's down. I've been looking at plays like Riot. I am a Bitcoin person. I like Bitcoin. I've been looking at plays like Riot, which I've used before for covered calls, but not for cash secure puts. And so I'm anticipating its price to go down. Bitcoin today, let's take a look. Way down, $91,771 at the time of this recording. This is getting closer and closer to my target, everybody, which is 75,000. That's the number I've said. Here it is right here, right there. Happened in April. I doubled my position in April. If it happens again, I'm going to double it again. But what's going to happen here? If it gets to 75,000, all your other funds that are Bitcoin related are going to have issues. Misty, what else is Bitcoin related out there? So much, right? So much. LFGY, they're going to have issues, everybody. And I mean, that's the volatility you're looking for, I suppose. But that's why I got rid of CONY today. I just wasn't happy with the performance over the last year. Wasn't happy with the return I got. Wasn't happy with the direction it was going. And I'm a Coinbase user. So yeah, just wasn't happy. It wasn't making me satisfied with my investment. And I feel like now's the time to get into options trading more. My brokerage, Questrade, just opened the door for us to make it a lot easier. So I'm excited about that. By the way, if you want to get into Questrade, I have a link in the pinned comment below. Hit that. You and me both get $50 if you sign up for Questrade. So that's kind of fun. Here's my investment sheet. If you didn't really get a good enough look at it, I'll just leave it up there for you. I didn't even change the current price, but it's like $4.83 right now. Right? Insane. But yeah, there you go. Realized loss, $750. This is the first one I've had a realized loss. Why is it realized? Because I sold. Okay? First one I sold. I haven't sold any of the other funds yet, but you never know down the road. Here's my passive account. This shows my distributions. My account was at all-time highs, almost all-time highs, but missed it by $200 like a month ago. And now we are down like 10% since then. Crazy times. But you know what? We kind of expected this to happen, right? We kind of had a feeling that the market was topping out a little bit. So there you go. There's the $2,488 in distributions received. Canadian, there it is right there as well. I just did a Canada-US dollar changer there. And 1770 is how much distribution I got from CONY lifetime. Yeah, Bitcoin, 91,000. Can we see it get to 75,000? What happens for you if it gets to 75,000? Are you going to be happy with your investments? What do you think? Also, I am looking, if you're still here, it means you're a true fan of the channel. I really appreciate you being here. I am looking for plays when it comes to options. So I have about 4 or 5 in mind. CONW, CONW, CONL. These are like Coinbase plays, actually. And I looked at both of them. They're pretty volatile. I don't know if I want to do it on these leveraged ETF funds because on down days like right now, they're not good. Too risky, too wild, too, seat of our pants. So it's ironic. I'm saying RIOT is the symbol. Riot. It's also super risky and volatile, but at least I know its pattern, right? So when Bitcoin gets down to 75,000, it's probably going to be at like $7. So I know when I write my cash secure put, how far to put it out just in case that happens, right? And so, that one's on the forefront of my mind. But I am interested in funds that you saw it. I have $1,500, right? So the dollar amount has to be under $15 per share for me to qualify for that. I suppose I could put more money in, but that's kind of where I want to start with the options is 1,500, and then build that account up over time, and then do 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then eventually I'm rolling in these funds doing 10 to 20 cash secure puts and then covered calls. And I don't know what's the timeline to think about that. Maybe the next year or two to be able to make that happen. But I'm pretty pumped to get into it because that is a very unique way to make money. And I'm still educating myself on it. Anyways, the video is kind of just a throw together, just thoughts out there in the world. If you like the content that I put out there into the world and the transparency and all of that good stuff, I hope you hit the like button. I think it's right there. And the subscribe button right there. My name is Mike. Channel's name is Health and Wealth. You're awesome. Have a great night. Bye for now.